You're listening to a DM podcast.
We would like to acknowledge and give thanks to the traditional owners of the land we record this podcast on, the Yagara and Turrbal people,
and their continued connection to the land and waterways on which we meet. Hello and welcome to Sportish, the podcast where we talk about the things that we find interesting in sport. We have changed our tagline, Georgie. Trickett.
Have we changed it or are we in the process of changing it, Libby Trickett?
We're evolving it. For the sporties who've been listening for ages, we've had many iterations.
How long could they have been listening?
I don't know. We've had many iterations of our tagline. It was originally humanity,
oh God, I can't even remember.
Something of sport, all those things that are part of
and
sport.
Heartbreak of sport.
Yes, that was the first one. And then the next one was Where Sport and Pop Culture Collide. And then I think we both kind of had this joint realization that we didn't really understand what pop culture was.
And it was so funny, like when we were originally talking about what this tagline should be and we were bouncing it off with some friends, I had this like full circle moment, but I was like, but what is pop culture? And they were like, it's exactly all the things you've just been talking about. And I was like, oh, and I just thought I was the only one that didn't know, but maybe lots of people get a bit funny about what pop culture is.
Well, and I think everyone's interpretation of pop culture is different as well.
Yeah, like do you think popcorn and movies when you think pop culture?
Yeah, like celebrities and, stuff that's in the zeitgeist.
Yes, I mean, that is really it. But like when you think pop culture, does that speak to the zeitgeist and does everyone know what a zeitgeist is?
I love that we're saying zeitgeist.
Said it so many times that we're stumbling over it now.
But anyway, so we kind of were workshopping it the other day and I decided that it should be shit that we think is interesting in sport. But we're dialing it down a little bit because Georgie doesn't always like to swear like I do.
Well, no, I'm not and I do drop the odd swear in my day-to-day life because that's sometimes how you survive the day.
It's under our breaths.
No, I don't know. I like to think on it. You're like, yeah, that's good. Let's go. And that I think really describes our two personalities.
It's exactly right. I'm like, let's go, Georgie, let's go. Let's just go. You're like, oh, we're dropping the new one? What? What are we doing here?
Like literally 2 minutes ago, Libby's like, I think we should do it now. And I was like, what? Huh? Okay, let's do this.
So I think we should leave it up to the sporties of what the word should be. Is it shit? Is it stuff? Is it things? Is it stories that we
Can you say the whole thing again? Because I think...
Yes. Welcome to Sportish, the podcast where we talk about the stuff we find interesting in sport.
Okay, it's not bad.
Replace stuff with whatever you think sport is and we'll take the best one.
Come at us.
I still think it's shit.
She's so sophisticated.
Hey, I'm from Townsville. I'm allowed to. Anyway, Georgie, I wanted to talk to you about the most amazing story happening over in the NBA at the moment. I am a closet basketball fan.
Right. So when did this start? Is this like one of your origin things? Like you have always watched basketball?
Yes, pretty much. So many moons ago when I was growing up in Townsville, my mum and I used to go and watch, at the time, this Townsville Suns play. They then became the Townsville Crocodiles. And then when we moved to Brisbane.
Suns was a better name, but okay.
Way better. But then when we moved to Brisbane, we used to go and watch the Brisbane Bullets play all the time. So like Leroy Logan.
Iconic.
When I was swimming, I actually trained initially out of a gym that were also helping like the NBL and, the Brisbane Bullets and all that sort of stuff as well. So I think I even called, I'm going to get the name wrong again. He was a Brisbane Bullet and I trained with him. And I think his name was Stephen Black, but I called him Simon Black, as in Simon Black from the AFL Brisbane Lions.
So a Brisbane legend, just the wrong code.
Yeah, correct.
Could happen to anyone.
Well, he wasn't thrilled. It's the look on his face. I immediately knew I got his name wrong, even though I had been training with him week in and week out. But that's my life. That is who I am as a person. So never
How'd it go?
Never expect me to remember your name if I come across you, even if you're my cousin, apparently, who I've also gotten her name wrong. Anyway, I digress. I have loved basketball from the very beginning. I actually played a little bit of basketball for a year or two when I was a kid, but I've always kind of been into it. And ever since the advent of sports documentaries, I have just wholeheartedly gotten into the behind the scenes of basketball and how interesting that is.
The cornerstone piece of that, of course, being The Last Dance, the Chicago Bulls.
Correct. And the dynasty that was the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. We've had some,
I knew you would bring it up.
We've had some conversations about, my opinion of Michael Jordan versus your opinion of Michael Jordan. I think he was awesome. You think he was too much, which I also do see. I
don't dispute that he was an excellent basketball player. He was a lot in that team.
I totally agree. And you know what? I have started watching a new documentary on Netflix called Starting Five, and it's about 5 different players in the NBA, one of which is LeBron James. And watching LeBron James versus LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, that's always a comparison that is had. Who is the official GOAT? I think we can all say outright that LeBron James he's the highest scoring basketball player.
On the stats, he performs better than Michael Jordan.
On the stats, I think Michael Jordan is who you grew up with. So you kind of you hold him in higher esteem. But on the stats, LeBron James is the guy. What I have absolutely loved about watching this documentary is how joyful LeBron James is. Like, he loves what he does. He is incredibly disciplined. Like, there's rumors that he spends like $1.5 million on his recovery and his body every single year to keep him at the level that he's playing at.
How old is LeBron James?
LeBron James made his first NBA team, was drafted for the first time in 2003. That was the year that I first made the Australian team. LeBron James is 39 years old. He is 1 month older than me, and he is still playing at the top of his game at the NBA.
Wow.
So this guy, he's been playing, I think it's his 22nd year in the league. He's a 4-time NBA championship winner. Like, he's the finals MVP 4 times over. He's been the most valuable player. Like, he's won the in-season tournament with the LA Lakers just last year. What has topped all of that, which is why I wanted to talk to you because this is the coolest story ever, is that he and his son, Bronny James, who is LeBron James Jr., became the very first father-son to play in the same team in the same game ever.
That is wild.
So, there's been lots of father-son, the dad plays for this team and then the son comes in 20 years later. That's happened a few times. But it has never happened that
they've been on the court.
On the court at the same time. It was like the most amazing, it's unbelievable because not only does that speak to LeBron's legacy and his longevity in the sport, that is just unbelievable. And he's not pissing around. He is in there scoring triple doubles and hardcore stuff, still getting his stats right up there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so they're not carrying LeBron.
He is carrying
He's a playmaker on the court.
100%. And then his son comes in, who is 19, 20, and he's good enough to play for the LA bloody Lakers. It's just mind-blowing, this family, and they're just so sweet, and he's just so, he loves his family. He's family is primary. His son, Bronny, who is playing on the team with him, early 23, had a cardiac arrest.
What?
As well. And LeBron James spoke about it on the documentary, and he's you just realize that nothing matters. You're nothing else matters except for family and for health and, making sure you're taking care of people. I feel it's so interesting now watching him play because you just kind of go, I think he's just doing this for shits and gigs to see how long he can do it for. There's nothing else for him to achieve. It's all just icing on top of icing on top of icing for him.
But then he's playing would you say for the love of it? Like he genuinely loves it.
Correct. He's just playing it because he wants to see how far he can go.
I've got questions. I've got so many questions.
Please.
When you're talking about him and the fact that he's spending $1.5 million in recovery and stuff like that, has he gone down the Djokovic path, and is he a vegan who's only eating plant-based foods and sprouting the goodness of like that sort of
hugging trees
diet?
And things like that? I cannot speak to hugging trees or veganism, although there was a shot of him eating his breakfast on Christmas morning, which looked like bacon and eggs.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah, he drinks wine every night.
Oh, okay.
He does all of that stuff, but then he spends hours upon hours, doing hot and cold baths and hyperbaric chamber and UV saunas and
infrared saunas. They're a thing. It's very California.
Totally a thing. And then the other thing, and this is probably just a random thing that I just really love, he married his high school sweetheart. So he's been with this woman since he was like 17 or 18. And I just love them. They're just beautiful. I love all of them.
So the other thing that when you were talking about it, and I was starting to think, and you were saying, how he's so different to Jordan and brings a different approach.
Yeah.
And you see it in the documentary. I was wondering, is that because like when the Jordan documentary was put together, people had less of an idea of how the footage would be perceived? And because a lot of it is old original footage when you look at The Last Dance, whereas there's now a lot more awareness of how these documentaries would be interpreted. And if he's involved in the creation and if he's a producer, I'm not sure. Like, do you feel like you got the real version of LeBron, or do you feel like the insight you got was the insight he wanted us to see?
That is a great question. Executive producers include Michelle and Barack Obama.
Oh my gosh, you went deep.
Yeah, and Peyton Manning, who is an NFL star. Anyway, it's a good question. I think he has so much respect in the league, and, you can see people just like him.
Yeah, like it's genuine.
He's liked. I'm not saying that he's not entirely arrogant and has that ego, and obviously he wants to be the best. Otherwise, why would you be doing this for as long as he's been doing it, right? I think the difference with Michael Jordan is the way that he wanted to be the best is he would crush anyone to do it, including his teammates, and he drove people a lot, whereas I feel like on some level LeBron is more like he's a lifter, like he lifts people up.
And possibly that's also just a reflection of where society is at as well.
But that's exactly right. And, who's to say that that's where he started his career, right?
Yeah.
Like we're seeing, and he has a very fatherly energy. You can see him really wanting to encourage people. Like he was so excited that they won this like brand new thing that the NBA put together called the in-season championship, where the LA Lakers won it. It was the first time it had ever been played, but every single player got $500,000. And one of his comments, like for him, that's nothing. Like that's pocket change.
Yeah.
It's insane. But like for some of the players who have just come from the G League and, have just made it into the NBA, like that amount of money is life-changing. And he spoke about how awesome it was to see how happy they were and to know that he had helped them achieve that. Like, so cool.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yes. So Netflix, starting 5. There's also other players that they cover.
I mean, I gather there's more than just LeBron. There might be 4 others.
Yeah. So there are definitely 4 others. Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum. I can't remember the other 2, but it's super interesting. And they talk about, how much they travel. Like they're traveling so much all throughout the year. Often they're away on Christmas because they play on Christmas Day. And that's actually like a huge honor if they're playing on Christmas Day.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's a whole thing over there. But yeah, highly recommend if you're interested even tangentially in NBA. It's awesome.
Would it be a really good way, if you don't know anything about NBA, is this like a good way to understand a bit more about it as a sport and the key players in the sport?
Yeah, definitely. And these are key players. Like they're some of the best in the NBA.
My last question, could teenagers watch it? Like, what's the age?
It depends on what your barometer
sweary levels are.
Yeah. Like, I would let my 9-year-old watch it for sure.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
But there is swearing. So, again, be warned that there is swearing. They mic them up on like the court, the basketball court, which is so cool.
So
like
cool.
that kind of access is so awesome. You hear what they're talking about like to their coaches during the match, and it's so cool. It's so cool. There is definitely F-bombs. Depends on what your level of sweariness is for them.
No, okay. I'm going to go watch that. Thank you. I've
You're
just
welcome.
finished something, so I need a new sport
So good.
documentary.
You'll love it.
Hey, Lib, we got a message in our inbox the other day from a person who said, I just want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on with this new female sports competition called Athlos.
Ooh.
I think that's how it's pronounced. But essentially, it's this comp that's been set up by Alexis Ohanian, who is
Better known as.
but also better known as Serena Williams' husband and the guy who held her umbrella at the Paris Olympics. Like commentators literally were like, oh, and there's Serena Williams and her umbrella holder, you know, is walking beside her sort of thing. And it was like, oh, that's her husband. He's also a big deal.
He's a very big deal.
But he is a female sports fanatic, and he is doing lots of things in the space to build up and support women's sport. And interestingly, he doesn't talk about it as being a charity project for him. He's doing it because it makes really good business sense to him. He just sees it as creating incredible value. He is one of the backers behind Angel City FC, which you and I have spoken about at length. We're obsessed with that team. Ad nauseum. They're the soccer team in LA, the female soccer team that a whole lot of people came on board with. He's one of their founding investors, and he's now set up this athletics comp because he recognized that female runners and track and field athletes are just so poorly paid. So if you are winning a meet, you're not necessarily winning prize money. And he said, do you know what? I'm going to put on an event in New York. I'm going to make it just 6 events, 6 races is all I'm going to hold. But I'm going to spend and award $60,000 to each of the winners of each of those events. And when he announced that, a few interesting things happened. World Athletics came out the short time later and said, oh, also, when our athletes go to the Olympics, anyone who wins a race will now win $50,000. So that had not happened before. And all of a sudden, World Athletics was like, oh, yeah, we do. We pay too.
We do things.
And so if you got a gold medal, you got a payment from World Athletics following the Olympics.
Wow.
Now the Diamond League has also come out. So the Diamond League's like I would say to compare to swimming, it's like all the Grand Prix events that you used to have through Europe, similar thing.
It's very well paid by all accounts.
Yes, but they've now come out and said they're going to review their prize money as well.
Ooh.
And increase
Good
it.
news.
So just by even putting it out there, he started to make ripples on the rest of the athletics community. And then they held the event. And I went looking at some of the reports that came out from people who attended it, because all I could think was, oh, please let it, I hope it's gone well, because there was a lot of media hype about it, and he really hyped it up in a really exciting way. Forbes described it as changing the landscape of women's sport.
How good. Yes.
So they said you got in there and the vibe was just next level. There was a red carpet. So all the athletes and their guests and VIPs and people of influence walked along a red carpet. There was a DJ for the whole entire event, just playing music. People were always moving, always good tunes. They had a DJ specifically, a different DJ, I should add, a different DJ
Multiple
for
DJs.
the walk-ons, for the introduction type music, which I was like, that's amazing. And then Megan Thee Stallion did a whole set while she was there in the middle of the Aths track and right close to the main stadium.
But this is the sort of stuff that I love to see, is that people come in and just rethink things from the perspective of the viewer, though. We already have this amazing, for lack of a better word, product of, sport, and particularly talking about female sport. How do we make it fun. You know, the NFL, like the whole halftime game is the whole thing for the Super Bowl.
I mean, if it were not for that, why would you watch it?
Well, I mean, that's why I watch it. I mean, I literally just watched the halftime show. But anyway.
I love the T-shirt. Have you seen the T-shirt that's like, there's this football game that keeps interrupting my concert? Because that's like, I mean, that halftime show is incredible. But you're so right. Like you look at, I'm going to bring it back to cricket. This is what Kerry Packer did with cricket. Because he was like, 5 days of a cricket match is a lot. What if we did a product that was way more interesting and we did one-day matches? One-day matches came about because of broadcast.
Yes.
And they wore those crazy bright uniforms because of broadcast.
Yes. And then they did T20 and then they did the IPL. And then they did, I don't know how much shorter they can make it.
T20 is the IPL. When they play, you're so close. I was so proud. I was like, you've got it. You've nailed it.
But there's like all these different leagues.
Yes, because the format they've come to now with cricket, I can't believe we're still on cricket, but the format they've reached with cricket is now a very marketable, digestible product. And it creates this very snappy competition that they can play, all around the subcontinent.
Do you reckon the test matches are done then?
We're so off base here, but no, because I think there's still some prestige.
They be though?
No, I don't think they will.
I'm just kidding.
I think there are different markets. You're appealing to different audiences. And I think cricket's shown that. And so Alexis has said, we could try doing track differently. What if we made it like a concert where you're, jumping around and there's great light show and there's great athletes and we're going to hype the women up. So the women all came into town a couple of nights before. They all got taken out to dinner. They all got amazing press coverage. Like, of course, this is what we should do.
But this is what they do with like the tennis, like all the opens around the world. Like that's what they do. Like that's the way of sport. Like I would love to see that sort of stuff happening with swimming. I feel like, the World Swimming League was an attempt at that, but like it didn't quite land. I don't know how you make it better, but like I love that people are rethinking it and they're like getting behind sport and women's sport.
Other interesting things that he did, they were all presented not with a medal but with a crown. It was a Tiffany crown.
Amazing.
So which is in of itself worth so much money.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, look, it's entirely too much, but also love it.
So American. But go for it. I love it. He made sure it was accessible everywhere. So it was on X, it was on YouTube, it was on ESPN, it was on DAZN. I don't even know what that is. But 2.5 million people alone tuned in to watch it on X. This is a women's track meet.
What's X, Georgie? Just call it Twitter. Yeah.
Twitter. I'm not on any of it. So
you're not on the X or the Twitter.
I'm not on the X or the Twitter. And here's the best part. This was like the part where I was like, oh my God, here's a person that understands women's sport. One of the biggest complaints female athletes have when they do these high-level competitions, not one of the biggest complaints, but it's a real irritation, is that they have to wear these bibs and they're big. And if you've done like any sort of half marathon or 5K run, the bibs we wear as like amateur Sunday morning athletes, that's what we put on elite athletes who are doing all sorts of crazy things to reduce their time by 0.02 or 0.04. And then we put a big whack of plastic on them and want them to wear it. And for women, lots of women run in a crop top and bottoms. So where do you put this big square bib?
With the pins.
With the pins, with 4 safety pins. Like, come on, technology must be better surely. So do you know what they did for this meet? They made the bibs small.
Amazing.
The bibs were small enough that they could just put it on their crop top. I don't know how they attached it. I didn't go into that much detail. But it just was like the most practical bib you've ever seen. It took someone thinking, I wonder how we can do athletics differently to sort out the bib situation.
But not even just differently in that. It's going to be a concert and it's going to be all fun and exciting. But like every layer of it. How can we be better? How can we be different? How can we make this interesting? How can we make it more accessible? How do we make it better for the athletes? Like, love it.
The fans loved it. The female athletes absolutely loved it, performed on the night, want to do it again. And we now have a proven product that needs to be rolled out more widely.
Yes, everywhere. Everywhere. It's the Midweek Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
Georgie, who do we have this week?
I'm very excited about this because once again it strays into a sport that you are coming to love, and that's cricket.
I feel like I got absolutely bent over last week. I came to bag you, and then I'm the one who gets bagged.
Now, hang on. You didn't get bagged, but there were a number of messages that came through that said, we would like to help Libby understand cricket better. How can we work with Libby to get her on board with cricket? And I love that for you.
I had so many DMs being like, cricket is amazing, just as we were coming on. Cricket is the best. I'm like, come on. So yes, tell me about this cricket Hall of Famer.
The Women's Big Bash League started over the weekend.
Not Brazilian butt lift, which is where my brain went.
That's okay, because that will be the same for others. And I'm always very conscious that we shouldn't just use the acronyms all the time. Like, we should explain it to the sporties in case you're just coming in, because if you're just coming in, we're going to help you get there.
Because women's BBL could be other things in other places.
I don't know anyone who's ever confused them, but I'm happy to allow it.
I feel like the sporties will get me. Or maybe I'm on my own. Let me know. I could be on my own. Maybe I've watched too much Kardashian in my time.
On the weekend, there was a debutante who started in the Sydney Sixers. Her name is Kiva Bray, and she is 15 years old.
Wow, that's amazing.
15 years old, only just turned 15 years old. She has joined the team. I should also declare that she is a junior Matilda.
You know who she reminds me of immediately?
Who?
Elise Perry.
Ah, yes. So already many comparisons have been drawn to Elise Perry. She is in the same team as Elise Perry.
Shut the front door. That is so cool.
How amazing, right? So she is our midweek Hall of Famer, one, because she debuted at the age of 15 into the national competition. And then she bowled her maiden WBBL wicket.
What, she's a bowler as well?
She's a bowler and a batter.
Oh, come on now.
And she bowled out a powerful West Indian cricketer. So she maiden wicket in her first match, and then she went on to hit a 4 to win the game for the Sydney Sixers.
I mean, talk about overachieving.
I was going to say, what were you doing at 15? But I feel like you were probably starting to head off into your Olympic career.
I only got 5th at age nationals that year. Lame.
I didn't make the Queensland softball team that year. Meanwhile, this girl is not only playing under 19s Australian cricket and playing as a junior Matilda, she's just joined the national comp.
That's unbelievable. I mean, if that's not a midweek Hall of Fame, I don't know what is.
That is 100% midweek Hall of Fame. I absolutely got chills watching this girl play, and she's just got the greatest smile on her face and is elated to be on the field with her heroes playing a game she loves.
Love that so much, even though it's cricket. And not a Brazilian butt lift. Definitely not a Brazilian butt lift.
Just in case anyone was confused.
Just in case. Podcast.
It's not a sportish issue.
Padding in some way for some sort of sport.
I mean, cricket does need padding. It's not.
Well, they do.
It's just not there.
Not there. Yeah, not there.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Sportish. Send in your midweek Hall of Fames. We love to celebrate those out in the public domain who are hitting 4s and bowling wickets, but we also love to celebrate those community stories, those ones that just get you when you hear them at a barbecue. We want to share those. They're things that we celebrate as much as everyone at the elite level.
We'd love to hear them. Otherwise, we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Okay, bye.